everything in your life, in your business, in your leadership is a mirror of your inner world. It's a reflection and a projection of who you are being in this very moment. Let it sink. The money you have on a bank account, the quality of the relationships with other human beings, what type of clients you receive, how fast your clients transform, how fast your business grow, everything is just a projection of something inside of you. That at least to 80%, if not 95%, is resulting and projecting your reality now. And who you are now is what? Consists of many different things, right? Who you are now is a reflection of past circumstances and situations, memories that are encoded in your body, beliefs, not those conscious 5%, but the 95% subconscious, which has been there since a very early age and crept in unconsciously into you and became a part of you. And some type of identity that you have embodied at a certain moment in life. So everything which you see today and who you are comes from this wiring. I call it a inner human architecture, consisting of several points that I just mentioned. Now let's make it more tangible, right? About 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, when I was in the corporate world, I have always been this kind of leader and human being that, ambitious, climbing the ladder, wanting more, having beautiful goals, always that high-performing leader, right? Or human being or individual contributor. And I was always having this feeling that I need to prove myself to be successful. I always need to push hard, chase. And I've been, of course, climbing the ladder thanks to that, right? So high achievers get what? Get the next role, right? And become a leaders all of a sudden and think what? Oh, I am going to be the top of the world. Now I'm going to be the greater leader than my predecessors, right? Finally. And then my challenges started. And the challenges that I was experiencing that time, where I was having that vision of a leader who I want to be. I knew what a great leader looked like to some extent that time, at that period of time. I could tell you which one is not a good leader, right? And I've seen myself having the gap, like from micro perspective, having the gap between what I'm experiencing and what I know is possible. But I couldn't leave it yet. I had not nice conversations of performance and feedback giving to my employees, which sometimes, ended up with unsatisfaction and damage in relationship. I had conflicts with some stakeholders. I had led that time a huge regional organization change, which I was a great initiator and great sponsor we had, and all stakeholders were aligned, but that started to also go a little bit south. Not because, of course, only about me, but obviously I was a big part of it. And so that was a moment for me that me personally, I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of stress. I had a lot of worry, anxiety, and I started to ask myself, can I actually succeed? Can I be a successful leader? That's where the questions were coming to me and many different negative narratives. And so I decided that time, about 10 years ago, to lean into coaching. Because there was a nudge. And the nudge was, you know what, to be a successful leader or more successful than I am, I think I need to ask better questions than just convince people, right? That was also my mode of leading. And that's how I was, okay, that's why I would go to coaching. Because those really powerful leaders, when they speak and when they ask questions, and there were not so many I witnessed. So I wanted to be that. And that's why I went to coaching. But in this coaching journey, that was my first epiphany, right? There was not to learn how to ask better questions, believe me. Yeah. This was the moment, the first ever 10 years ago encounter with myself, with my inner self. And that was the very first moment I understood how my beliefs about me and what are the beliefs about me that I hold about myself, how they are projecting in my life. For the first time, I understood that I'm holding on to this limiting belief that so many of my clients and so many of the leaders and so many people hold on, I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough leader. I'm not good enough. Well, when you are unconsciously, not consciously, embodying that belief, every little mistake, every little failure, it's a proof of that belief. Because your mind, or particular part of your brain, which is called RAS, is filtering your reality through your belief system. In other words, there are millions of information coming to us in a given moment, but we as human beings perceive only a little fraction of our information because our body would not be able to physically receive everything. And that fraction is filtered through our beliefs. We go back to what I said before, right? Beliefs, memories, and identity. Those are the most important things that shape us and create the filters. So if I have a filter, let's say my filter was I'm not a good enough or not successful enough leader, I'm constantly going to see in my reality what exactly that. And I stay in a loop and I never get out. Because every situation confirms my belief. And so 95%, 99%, whatever, majority of the people live in that reality unconsciously. I was living in that reality unconsciously for 30-something years until I came into opening the door in coaching 10 years ago. So that was my very first shift, fundamental shift, which helped me to, of course, reprogram certain beliefs that I hold about myself, which were part of my identity of who I am. And since then, of course, I felt much more, not only confident and trusting in my body, right? Your energy shifts, of course, too. And of course, I started to become a leader that really, truly unlocked potential in people and resolved slowly those older things that I've been holding to. As a result, I also moved on to organizations because I also realized that that organization was not serving me anymore. And with the time, I started to notice that with that awareness, with that expanded awareness that I hold and all the coaching by then and coaching certifications I've done by then, I just was a different type of leader than anybody else. And I could notice there is low psychological safety. There is a fear-based culture. That is why we are in silos, right? And then I clicked because I noticed that what I love is to coach my employees, that any other fucking presentation and a waste of my time of reporting, right? And so 4 years ago, I kind of decoded, if you like, that time, that my purpose, my mission, the desire at that time, let's call it very clearly, the desire is to do something different than be in procurement world in one organization, but to help leaders to get connected to themselves and actually shift from within, transform from within, so that actually they can transform their organizations and culture, because that's the only way we can do that. Now, you would say, voilà, that's a part of the story, fantastic, I continue. Oh no. Last 4 years, boom, acceleration of my transformation. That was a baby stage, now looking back 10 years ago. Second shift, discovery of positive intelligence, mental fitness, you know that too. Oh, that is connecting with some of you that mentioned before. So as an entrepreneur, I started my business, completely zero awareness how to run a business, right? 15 years in corporate world, going to solopreneurship, welcome. But at least, I started with a lot of different trainings for coaches, how to start a business and how beliefs and so on. I had an awareness, so I've been equipped and investing. I invested the last 4 years, more than 100,000 euros in myself because my business is a reflection of me, full stop, right? We know that. So without any investment, you will be just moving very slow. Anyway, so while I was investing in myself and going through different things, I want to talk about two last things which are the revolutionary part. So mental fitness was part of my journey. What is that about? Neuroscience, that's this gentleman mentioned before. Yeah. I understood that one thing is the beliefs, and we can discover them in different coaching modalities and stuff. But that's great. But there needs to be a deeper embodiment level and shifts. So when mental fitness helped me to understand and helped me to take more practical way of programming and transformation is to understand the different autopilots that we run on, right, subconsciously, which are source of the triggers that you've been talking about, right? The different identities, that's where I discovered, oh, I have a hyperachiever identity I had been attached to. Oh, that's the belief system. Oh, that's why it triggers me. So like that light by the speed of transformation, rather than 3 years of coaching, by the way, it's nonsense, yeah? You can do a test for 5 minutes, you know everything, and then you have a 6 weeks journey, which I, of course, done, and then I had 1 year of certification, because I was bought into the concept, because I could see it viscerally, I'm shifting. Because what needs to happen is the shift. If we want to shift and want to change anything in our life, that change needs to happen on subconscious level. We don't come by thinking. Thinking and mindset shift is just 5% of the impact. The real shift is 95% subconscious. So this beautiful neuroscientific and many other science behind solution is one of the most practical and loved solutions by most of my clients, because it's just eye-opener. But then, the biggest shift that I built in love with this, and of course I incorporate everything, right, in my journeys with clients, has been the discovery of quantum. Quantum reality, quantum transformation, quantum leadership. And that's where I play at, and that's where I am applying in. So I want to imagine, to understand it, that we live parallelly in two realities. The one reality is the reality that we perceive with our senses. And we can see each other, different colors, and we can see the bank account numbers, we can see the number of clients, KPIs. That's what we can see. We can hear the noise outside. That's our senses. That's the reality. And most of the people basically consider that's the only reality we live in. But there is a parallel reality happening at the same time, if you're aware of it, believe in it or not. It's happening, it's invisible to our eye, and it's energetic. Because quantum physics has supported spiritual theories with scientific data that everything on subatomic level is energy. We are energy. You are energy. This object is energy on subatomic level. And so we are energetic beings in a materialistic world, kind of, we can say. And the beauty of it is that when we understand that everything is quantum, everything is energy, that field, this is a field of possibilities, limitless possibilities. This is a place with consciousness globally connected in the world. This is a space and a real and reality where there is no past, future of tense. Everything is simultaneously happening. And this is a place where your future self lives. So the moment you understand that this reality is real, you do want to enter that, right? You do want to tap into that. And I did. And I know what's happening. When we tap to the reality of limitless possibilities, multidimensional growth, now we experience the speed of transformation of ourselves. Now we experience the energetic transformation. It is as if, it is not as if, but it is the fundamental is to understand that what you want and the version of you who you want to become already exist now. We're not creating it. We're actually not becoming it. We're decoding it from that energetic quantum field by attuning ourselves. And attuning is a good method. We have energetic activations and energetic alignment practices, somatic practices. So there are a lot of things how you can do that. But I will leave you with this. Once you step into the quantum transformation, once you connect yourself with that reality that already exists, once you connect yourself, attune yourself, like to the radio channel, because that's what it is, to that version of you that you want to be, that already exists, you start to download. You start to download all information, all strategy, or clarity, and it's going to be coming along the way when you master that connection. That is the key in quantum transformation, is the energetic alignment. It's the ability to feel that future you right here, right now. That's why we don't talk about becoming. We talk about stepping into, embodying it, and decoding or belief systems, or thoughts, or habits, or a way of decisions. And that's what is leading with ease and flow. This is what brings luck, synchronicities, and that's what the greatest and most successful millionaires have tapped to as entrepreneurs. So I want to leave you with this. I know we're 10 minutes is over, because there is a lot of wisdom, a lot of there, and the topic can be explored by 2 days, right? That's why there is a whole journey around them. Everything is a mirror of who you are. And right now, right here, you, each of you, have the potential and possibility to attune, to step into the version of you that you so much desire to be. It is possible now. You don't need to wait years, Eric. And when you do that, everything shifts. Thank you very much.